All right. Hey, everybody. Today I'm joined again by Cory Katuna. She's been on the podcast before. Thanks for coming back, Cory.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, Cory works with people, coaching them in the kind of spiritual. Yeah, how would you describe what you do? Let me, just for people that might be new to your work, maybe we start there.
Um, okay, if I were to sort of give like a blanket overall view, because I work sort of in different, I have my own company with my business partner, Rome. I also
Yeah.
work as part of Bentinho Massaro's team,
Hmm.
and I do a handful of other things. And I think there is like a blanket umbrella, which would be maybe you could say like realization of potential, although
Hmm.
that includes
Yeah.
even transcending your potential. So
Yeah.
like the full max out of the realization of why did I incarnate? Like why am I here?
Yeah.
And what's truly fulfilling all the way, not just scratching an itch or like putting a band-aid on something, but
Yeah.
the actual full realization of potential.
I love that. That's that really resonates because yeah, I love it because it's like with Bentinho's work, you kind of cover but that's always what I've loved about Bentinho as well. For anybody that doesn't know Bentinho's work, he's a very well-known Dutch kind of spiritual teacher that mixes kind of the non-dual realization with what Cory was saying. And what I love about the work that kind of all of you guys do in that space is the like you said, the maximization and the realization of potential in this incarnation. Because it's almost like it's um, I don't know, I just think it's a very important blending of like kind of personal development and like deep spiritual realization, which can be like everything's okay, nothing is wrong.
Exactly.
And yet, I've always felt like that can be a missing part of the puzzle, which is the kind of the inspirational, like kind of like, cool, now what do we do with this? Like in,
Totally. And like the
yeah,
proliferation. It's like if your intention was truly to serve with your awakening,
yeah,
like if it was not only to awaken, but also to be generous with that awakening and
mhm,
uplift the rest of your oneness that the one that we all share, to
yeah,
awaken the rest of yourself.
yeah.
Why would you cut yourself off and be um like weak or to fall into these sort of like antisocial beliefs that like nothing is real? Why does it matter
Yeah,
if I don't eat?
yeah,
So I think there's a myth or something in this that I see so many spiritual people fall for, which is just like actually a cop out for fear or
yeah,
laziness
yeah,
or
for sure. Yeah, yeah,
avoidance.
yeah. It definitely can be. I think that's why. Like, I think obviously we were discussing this just before we started. Like, there can be phases as well to this, like where you have a kind of dissolution phase where maybe you do kind of really retreat and pull back.
Hmm.
Um, but then that can be like then going into the next phase, which is kind of what we're talking about, of into the world in service and like yeah, but that's the thing. I think there's a lot of um I don't know. I think it's an area that like just looking at my own journey and people that I work with as well, like I think it's a space where there is a lot of confusion, right? In this like kind of
Hmm.
post so, like whatever shift it was for people, like okay, you've had some sort of realization, you've had some sort of shift. What now? You know, like navigating that and you know, the world of economics and like, you know, all this kind of shit, like being in the world, I think is a very important part of the journey, right? Like actualizing it,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Totally. It's what I love about Bentinho too. It's why I first recognized him as a teacher was because I had been sort of following other teachers or other
Yeah.
modalities. Some of it was like motivational, some of it was spiritual. And it was like all of it just seemed partial. All of it
Right.
seemed like, wait,
Yeah.
where's the rest? Why are you avoiding that part? Why are
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
avoiding that part? And then finally to see Bentinho just be like, oh, the whole picture, like the whole picture
Yeah.
of this journey. That was my sort of experience with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I resonate with that. Like, I think I might have mentioned this in our first conversation, but I found Bentinho like quite late in my journey. Like, I'd worked with a bunch of other teachers and had like a lot of big shifts for myself and um, wasn't really looking for a teacher, but I came across Bentinho's work and a similar thing. It felt like he was incorporating another part of the puzzle, which I hadn't seen a lot of other people incorporating. Like I had really good teachers like speaking about the like specifics of realization, right? Of like the non-dual insights and like all the intricacies of the um the spiritual realizations. But I watched some of Vintino's content, and it was like very yeah, I hadn't found a lot of people that incorporated that kind of depth of insight, which he clearly has, alongside the and take action, like go,
Right.
yeah, which I was like, fuck yeah, like I love that, I felt like,
Nice. I love that.
yeah, I hadn't found that anywhere else. So yeah, I think it's a very good, yeah, mixing of the worlds, yeah, for sure,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, nice. So yeah, you work in that space as well, and kind of from the same perspective with your own teachings. What we were saying to discuss was exploring what keeps people stuck. So obviously it's a broad topic. But yeah, like let's see where it takes us. I was thinking, people at all different stages of their journey, right? So someone might be early on, someone might be later on, someone might be, but like wherever you are, for me, the idea of stuckness is such a relevant one because it's like you can be stuck right at the beginning of your path. You can have a lot of insight, but suddenly feel like, things are not flowing as they could be. Right. So it's like, yeah, I think it's something that can be applicable at any state. So, yeah, what comes, like, again, I'm posing a big question to you here, but like, what comes to mind for you? Maybe we start with this. Like, what do you think can be some of the things that keep people stuck, or the things that can become
Mhm.
a block? Even maybe somebody that's had some shifts, was feeling a calling to go deeper, but what do you think can get in the way of this just kind of continuing to evolve as it wants to?
Nice. Well, I coach 70 to 80 people privately right now. So
Yeah.
I'm having a ton of private one-on-ones and I'm seeing this over and over. I have like the full data collection. I'm like
Yeah.
a nice,
Right.
I got the case study for
Yeah,
what keeps people
exactly.
stuck.
What are you seeing?
Um, um, God, there are a few things. So one, one like big obvious one, which is kind of meta, um, but it is the thought I'm stuck.
Uh-huh.
So, or like I can't. Um, I I already tried that.
Mm-hmm.
But just like it's kind of so I think people have these sort of like addictions,
Mm-hmm.
vibrational addictions, you could say, or like emotional addictions. It's just patterns. It's just
Yeah.
unseen patterns. And they'll sort of tell themselves, I'm stuck or I'm trapped or it's always like this or it's always going to be like this. I've always
Yeah.
been like this. And they'll just have that belief and it's an uninvestigated belief. So honestly, it's one of the things I do a lot with people
Mm.
when they're sort of like complaining about something or explaining something and they expect me to be like, okay, let's see how we can break through this let me help you. Let me pull you over. Usually what I'll do is go like, okay, wait, what is that though? Wait, why? I've heard you do this twice. And
Mm-hmm.
what
Mm-hmm.
is that? Why are
Yeah.
do you see that you have like a recurring sort of assumption about
Yeah.
the way the world is or the way that you are? Um, and this is empowering. It's
Yeah.
generally so
Exactly.
empowering for people to see that, to see like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not objectively true. I'm
Yeah.
not like accurately reading the circumstances and just getting
Yeah.
my sort of accurate interpretation. Be like, no, see, look, I am stuck. No, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I'm like through my own interpretation and interpretations are remarkably variable, like infinitely variable. You can always interpret however you wish to interpret.
Mm-hmm.
Through the power of my own interpretation and some hidden agenda of my own, which again is empowering. It's a little confronting, but then
Yeah.
it's ultimately empowering
Yeah.
to see that it's my own hidden agenda. Because if I can't, and if I can convince everyone around me that I can't, I'll get empathy.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to expect more from me.
Yeah. It's like,
Uh,
yeah,
it
it's safe, It's like we don't have to,
exactly
yeah.
familiar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and people, this is basic stuff. I feel like I was reading about, this kind of thing, I don't know, 15 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't go away. Like it's
Yeah.
truly it's something that
Yeah, I
you got
agree.
to actually do it. It's one
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
to sort
yeah.
of know it in theory, and it's another thing to be like, "Oh fuck, I'm doing this. I'm
Yeah.
running this program. I'm telling
Yeah.
myself this over and over." Um, and crucially, it's a lie. So it's so
Yeah.
important to know this. It's
Yeah.
a lie. So this thing that I'm saying, it's not true. I'm doing it. I'm like pasting an interpretation that's an inaccurate interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
It's optional. It's fine. It's valid. It's
Mm-hmm.
valid,
Yeah.
but it's a lie.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what I'm relating to. That's the life I'm experiencing. Um, but it's delusional. It's not accurate. It's not like what would be accurate, more accurate at least, is your inherent freedom. That's always already here that you can't get rid of no matter what. The further away it is from that,
Yeah.
the easier it is to sort of prove to somebody that it's their own interpretation and a
Yeah.
dishonest one.
Yeah.
So that's a big one.
That's a great answer. I feel you 100% on the money there. Yeah, I agree with all of that. Like, I think, like you said, it's interesting because like I see the same thing with the people that I work with. And like one, it can be confrontational. Like that's the thing. And I think that's what a lot of people, I don't know, I guess like if you're working with someone that is a coach, then you're willing to see these aspects of yourself. But I do think that that is maybe the first step to getting unstuck. It's the willingness to kind of see the aspects of yourself that you don't want to see. And then I would say take accountability because like that's what you're talking about, right? Where
Nice.
it's like empowering, but it's like we can resist it if we don't want to take accountability. Like that's what I've seen with
Nice.
people as well. It's like,
So true.
yeah, you might not want to see this about yourself and it might be uncomfortable. And there's a part of you that will resist it because you're going to have to let something go as well. Like, I think that's the thing. It's like, we feel safe in what's familiar, like you said. And then it's like something's going to be resisting being pushed out of that. But I think that's where suffering is always a great indicator as well, because it's like, if where you're at is really feeling uncomfortable, then it's like almost the part of you that wants to move forward is now stronger than the part of you that wants to
Exactly.
be safe, which is
Right. You're
great.
intrinsically motivated.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. And it's like maybe that motivation is suffering where it's like, fuck, this doesn't feel right. Like I'm not happy with how things are. So it's like, okay.
So important. You know what I should have, the first thing, like you make me realize the first thing, it is that willingness. Okay, because usually if somebody's like feeling stuck, they don't even admit that to themselves. Like
Yeah,
that's not
exactly.
even,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not
yeah.
even aware
Yeah.
that they feel that and that they're playing that program. So what they're
Yeah.
doing, they find themselves in just recurring complaints. That's
Yeah.
where that's their lived experience is
Yeah.
recurring complaints, recurring like it always happens. Why am I, they're
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
outward and they're blaming or they're feeling like a victim or they're down on themselves. So if they have like a recurring complaint, but usually they're like distracted enough and active enough that
Yeah.
they don't even give themselves the chance to be like, hold the fuck on. What
Yeah.
am I?
Yeah.
What's going on? What's real
Yeah.
here? And
Yeah.
so I love that you bring this point up of like even first getting a coach. And
Yeah.
like okay, so I don't mean to promote my own
Yeah.
job, but like get a coach or
Yeah.
talk to somebody
Yeah.
who yeah, basically just create some sort of condition to like look all the way at the thing. Like
Yeah.
look at it, take a
Yeah,
look,
exactly. And
chill out,
yeah.
take a look.
Yeah. And it's like that brings me to the other point I wanted to say of what you were saying of like these things are such fundamental principles. Like you could read a self-help book or kind of any sort of book that talks about this.
Yeah.
But there's something in the act, and people can do this themselves as well. Like I love to self-empower people. But yeah, like it can be really powerful to work like with someone that can reflect this back to you. Cause like I see it the same, and like somebody that I'm working with, they can be telling me this whole like all their stuff. And at first I like what you said about like it's valid because I think that's important to help somebody to let go or like to like generally the
To stop
suffering.
protecting it.
Yeah, the suffering needs to be validated of like, yeah, that's true. Like I
Right.
understand what you're struggling with, and it's valid that you're experiencing that and you're going through that. And it's like I think that's an important step because like if we skip that, like it will want to defend itself or like it really wants to be seen and heard. Like I think that's key. And then as you said, then the next step though is the empowerment because it's like, cool, like I get it. It's been shit. Like it's that life doesn't feel good, whatever you're struggling at. It's like we can honor that. We can honor what you've been struggling with. However, there's good news. it's
Nice.
it's not anywhere else. Like it's like that's kind of something that's been coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, with
Nice.
people I've been working with, where it's like I love emphasizing like it's really fucking good news though. Like, sure, it might not feel good to be like, I'm doing this to myself, but also how empowering is that? Because it's like
Yeah.
it's not coming from anywhere else. There's nothing that's like fundamentally blocking you, which I like what you said, like it's kind of a lie, right? It's like it's valid to a part of us, but if we look from the biggest possible perspective, I mean, that perspective holds all perspectives. So it allows the part of us that's like, yeah, I'm stuck. And it's like, yeah, that's okay. That's not denied or neglected, but You just don't want to live in that. Like, are you ready to shift out of that? Basically, is the choice. Like,
Exactly. Well,
yeah,
right. I love this. I love one of the things that we teach, even in the shepherding mentorship that I'm doing right now, we teach the levels of energy. I don't remember if I talked to you about the levels of energy before.
might have. I'm not sure. Maybe refresh
Okay.
those.
Well, in the briefest summary,
Yeah,
the lowest level of energy is victim, and then the
right.
highest is awareness itself.
Yeah,
So, and the lower your level of energy, the more diluted you are. That's
right.
it. It's like that's we teach this before we're giving any coaching. So
Yeah,
it's not personal. We're just sort of showing the model. It's like the more you feel like a victim to your reality,
mm,
the further away from the truth
right.
you
Yeah,
are. You're literally seeing things inaccurately, and it feels horrible. So like
yeah,
double
yeah, yeah,
whammy.
yeah. But it's like those are intrinsically tied because it's like that's why like one of my early teachers
Yes.
would say this. He's like, suffering is your, it's like a little like error light basically of like, you're not seeing things accurately. So it's like
Yeah.
if it feels intrinsically horrible, then it's saying this is not how things actually are. It's like there's another
Yeah.
way to
Yeah,
navigate.
and
Yeah.
to I mean to train people to have a positive relationship with suffering because
Mm.
of that. So
Yeah.
it's like nice, must be wrong. That's
Yeah.
sort of the like new
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
interpretation of like,
Exactly.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, I feel horrible. I'm believing something wrong.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Exactly.
Great news. This
Yeah.
isn't true what I'm seeing. I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
So, and I think teaching somebody some sort of like inert model like this that isn't immediately personal, that they're not like, wait, I need to be sort of defensive to this, but just teaching somebody a model.
Yeah.
For me, I've used this model. It like helps me self-diagnose sort of where it's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
I'm blaming. That's the second one up above of victim is
Yeah.
blame.
Yeah.
So, and it's just nice.
Yeah. But that's a key point. Like, yeah, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. And I like it really is a um an important part of the journey, I think, is like to break, because that initial layer can be so defensive for people. Like
Yes. Yeah.
and I think like you said, education, but like non-personalized education with like some sort of a model or some sort of like a, again, not making it about the person themselves, but like, okay, look, this is like the way that things are, or the way that things can be. And it's like, yeah, because it really can, like people can get really stuck in that, in the defensiveness mode, where it's like, I mean, that's why one other, I guess, to take it back a step even more, kind of like you were saying, like the first thing is to be honest with ourselves if we're actually feeling stuck. And for me, it's like I can't even really work with someone unless they want it, right? Like that, I would
Yeah,
say that's
for
even
sure.
more like key, is like someone actually has to have that willingness. I love the word willingness. Like I often come back to it. Like if you have the willingness to like, yeah, I want to get out of this, right? Like this suffering or this stuck or this block. I don't know
Yeah,
how it's gonna look. Like I don't know what the technique is or the path is, but like that willingness, then you'll attract what you need to, and like you'll find
totally.
and people's paths are unique as well. Like what works for one person might be different to another person, but it's like that willingness, then everything kind of flows out from that, you know.
Yeah. God, I love it so much. I wanna like bottle that. Like what makes somebody willing? Because some people who have no
Yeah,
spiritual context are so willing.
yeah,
But I love it too. It's like it's a no, like I won't try with
yeah,
somebody who doesn't show total like interest, not only interest, but like trust
yeah,
and like circuitry. Like, okay, especially as like a coach or as somebody who's supporting somebody, I'm gonna get in there. Like I'm gonna like see from your eyes. I'm like, are you down? Like, are we gonna do
yeah,
this together? Because I'll help. But like it
yeah,
means it means we're
yeah, exactly.
collaborating on it. So I'm
Yeah,
not gonna fight you. Like
yeah,
I want to like team up and look at the thing
yeah,
together. I
yeah,
don't want to like fucking be working and finding little like subtle access points to like maybe usurp some negative perspective that you have. We need to be a team on this.
yeah,
So yeah, it needs like total buy-in.
yeah.
Um,
It's a huge, like I've, we both kind of work in the same space, and it's like I can totally,
yeah,
it just makes, yeah, I mean, it's better for everyone. Right? Like for you as the coach and for the person, where it's like if there is that buy-in and that, again, that willingness, then it just makes the process so much more effective, because it's like otherwise, yeah, you do feel like, or like I've had it before, where you feel like you're fighting a bit of like an uphill battle or something, where it's like, well, I
right,
mean, we can see the things, but do you want to change?
right,
It's like you don't want to be
right.
fighting someone. Yeah.
And I think a big prerequisite for this, there's a few. Um, but it's to know that what isn't actually, this is one of our we call it the code of constitution in this mentorship that I teach. Um, what isn't free isn't me. And there's other ways to say that, but like what isn't aligned, what isn't bright, what isn't clear, joyful, it's not me. That's
Mm,
not me. So the thing that feels like triggered, tense, uh, judgmental, feels like a victim, that it has the sort of like qualities that make it feel personal, but
yeah.
it's not. It's inherently not. What I am is
Mm,
freedom itself.
yeah.
No, I mean from a spiritual perspective, but from a real perspective too, from a like
Yeah.
practical perspective too.
Yeah.
You were talking earlier about like changing like how hard it is to sort of at least you made me think about like how that feels to go from being stuck to being free and how that can be just this like almost a disorienting process. Like you have to believe that you can do that. And the way to do that
Yeah.
is to realize this whole thing, this whole mask, this whole like fishbowl around my head,
Mm,
the whole thing is optional. What I am is before that. What I am is aware of that. What
yeah.
I am is constant. What I
Yeah.
am is the
Exactly.
nature
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
This is variable. This is changing. So we do need some of these sort of self-realization tools
Exactly.
to uh
Yeah.
to get that thing off. But if people can put their feet down, at least one foot, at least like a pinky, get a pinky into like, okay, I am always already free.
Yeah.
Anything else is not me. Anything else is an imagination that my mind is doing.
Yeah.
So transformation is not actually hard. Transformation is just saying, okay, I retract my investment in this lie.
Mm,
That's it.
mm,
That's all you're doing is saying, okay, I don't believe that anymore. That's it. That's all
yeah.
transformation is. And you return to yourself. We're not trying to turn people into like new creations. We're
Yeah.
trying to return people home to what they truly are, the thing that they always already were, but they're
Yeah.
temporarily believing in something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
What I love about that, and it's like something that I love to point people to as well, is like the aspect, or like for me, what's a really key realization, which I think brings so much freedom, is like that which we're talking about, that kind of fundamental freedom, let's call it, like the
nice.
like because what I see often with people is like the fear of certain aspects of experience, um that like that freedom is not threatened by anything. Like
Oh,
it can go into anything. Like for me, that's the most liberating perspective, is like it can go completely into any sort of suffering as well. It can go into like anything. Because I feel like people, like if there's any sort of conditions on it, that's not liberation, right? It's like if it
exactly.
yeah, if it's like, so it's like there's nothing in one point, it's like you're not that, but you're also not threatened by that in any way at all, like any mask, any kind of
It can't
um
touch you. It has
yeah,
nothing
any
to do
kind of
with you.
distortion, like it
Right.
is you, but it's like it's not the it's just one like tiny fractal of you, and it's like if
Yeah,
you
it's
see
like
the
it's just you opt it's like you having a thought of you
yeah,
having like a passing thought. It's not
yeah,
it has nothing to do with you. You forgot it already. Your real self forgot it already.
yeah, it can't touch it in any way, shape or form.
Right.
It's like it's not, yeah, it's not, because I feel like people can often get like afraid of then the victim mentality, or afraid of the um whatever it is, like whatever like feels like a
Right, right.
mask.
No, this is a great. People don't think they can change because they are so invested in whatever that is, in the victim mentality,
Yeah,
in the separation, in the fact that they feel stuck, in the fact that they've just seen proof day after day, year after year, decade after decade for many. They just like they don't believe in that change. And I think that's one of the trickiest things also is to like at least rewire like the mechanics of belief. Like
yeah,
it doesn't even matter that you
yeah,
believe all this stuff. You are
yeah, yeah, yeah,
still always
yeah,
already
yeah,
there. It
yeah,
doesn't
exactly.
matter if, it's
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
have to, it's like a different muscle of
yeah,
confidence, of belief. It's a
yeah,
different belief, you
yeah,
know?
because that's the thing, right? It's like suffering is so or like the ego, or whatever you want to call it, like the illusion, it's so ingenious in a way, in the sense of like we can notice something about ourselves and then get re-pulled into that, like through something like judgment, right? So that's just what came to mind as you were talking, where it's like okay, oh shit, oh now I'm a victim. Oh, like I need to bring myself down about
Yeah, yeah,
but it's like no, that's being pulled back onto the treadmill. It's like
yeah.
that's why I love the way you said it, where it's like it's not, it doesn't matter. Like that's the freedom again, is like, no, don't keep on buying into it. It's like you can see that, and the seeing of it is the freedom, right? That's kind of like what you were talking about earlier with like awareness being the highest. The like the seeing of it, the seeing of the victim.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we don't
The
need to go.
fact that you see
Yeah,
it, the fact
exactly.
that it appears to you
Yeah,
right there, that's
and
all
that's
you need.
such good news again for people.
Yes.
It's like you don't need to now be like go in and fix it. Like you like they go and engage on the level of it. I mean, you can if you want to, but it's not like the fastest path, I would say, or the most freeing path is to just let it be seen, right? Just like
Yes.
let
Nice.
that
Yes.
be seen, and then see that what is seeing it is it's there regardless whether the victim is there or not. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's untouched. Yeah,
It's so good. It's
yeah,
so good. And I think even with people who don't, because I I'm sensitive to the fact that some people just have no self-realization like
yeah,
context. I didn't. Like when I started all this, it took me a couple years following Bentinho. He would talk about like enlightenment,
yeah,
and I was like,
yeah,
not for me. I'm like on a mission. I'm gonna be epic. I'm gonna reach my potential. I wasn't interested in
yeah,
that
yeah.
until I was. Um, but I think the cool thing also with like seeing that like sort of negative self-talk in general is not me. That like somebody who has no self-realization context can still realize that like it's not me because when I'm in a good mood, I don't think those things.
Mhm.
Like that's those things are not permanent features of how I relate to my
Right,
life,
right,
you know?
right, right.
Like this the way I sort of interpret
Yeah,
myself, think about myself, think about the world, think about the possibilities for others, that changes so much. So which one do I anchor in as like I'm going to anchor this in. I'm going to
yeah, yeah,
believe
yeah, yeah,
this long term, even if I get, even better stuff later.
yeah,
This is one of the practices that I have done for most of my life, actually, more than 50% of my life, I think. Um, is this journaling exercise I started when I was like in high school called Lower Self, Higher Self.
right.
And so when I was insecure, when I felt bad, I would like journal from that. And then when I felt good later, I would come back and like answer my
Mm.
questions or just coach myself basically. Just be like, "Oh, see, you were wrong about this. No,
Yeah,
no, no, there's nothing. I would
yeah,
just come back and like usurp that perspective with clearer perspectives. And of course it has evolved over time to being more sort of like, you know, low vibe overall
yeah, yeah,
to progressively sort of more self-transcendent.
yeah,
But I recommend this just because it teaches people that like these negative beliefs or just counterproductive, let's just call it counterproductive beliefs that keep me feeling stuck, that keep my relationships weird and tense and like argumentative and sort of keep me thinking that things aren't possible for me, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Most of the world is here. So
yeah,
if people are thinking that this doesn't apply to me, I'm telling you it probably does.
yeah,
Um, but just to over time learn that the worse you feel, which currently, if you don't have this awareness, currently the worse you feel, it feels the most true. For
mhm.
most people, I mean, this is kind of the like mechanics of this. When I feel bad, suddenly it feels like, oh my God, something really is wrong with me. When I felt really good a week ago, I was just like on a high.
Right. That
I
was like,
I can't
yeah, yeah,
believe
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I was, I can't, that's not trustworthy. I was, excited because somebody did something nice for me. This is the real truth. This is the truth. There's really
yeah,
something wrong with me. And I think this is what creates all that anxiety and depression nowadays.
yeah,
Um, but a tool like this to steadily coach yourself or use a supportive, another container to realize like, okay, this is not actually accurate seeing.
yeah,
I'm wrong.
yeah,
I'm misinterpreting reality. This goes so far. You can take this all the way. You can take it into alignment.
yeah, yeah. And I like where you started that with like, it reminds me of like something like one of my first teachers would say, which was like, it kind of, it's like what you were saying at the end and at the beginning, where it's like this, whatever it is, right? This suffering or this like this feeling of consistent suffering. Um, like when it's there, it feels like, yep, that's me, right? Like
Yeah,
it's just so believable. But like he pointed to something which is kind of what you started with. You're like, it's not you, because it's like, look for the moments in your day where it's not actually there, right? But when it comes on again, it's just like it just picks up where it left off, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, yeah, everything's fine.
exactly.
But it's like it's not there all the
Exactly.
time. Like it's not yeah, but it's like it's so true where it also feels like it feels more familiar. I think that's the thing. It's like our identity, which is what this is fundamentally all about, is like it also feels threatened by what is unfamiliar. So it's like that, like you said, there's kind of breakout moments where we might actually have an expansion of joy, or peace, or just like everything's great, life's not so bad. Feel like a threat to the kind of the identity that feels like our core identity, right? And it's just like
Yeah.
it's just familiarity and habit, I think. And I like what you said. I can't remember the term you used, but like the term that came to mind for me was like maladaptive beliefs, because it's like these beliefs,
Nice.
yeah, they form at a certain point in our lives where it was adaptive, like maybe it was like some kind of childhood trauma, or like something where there was a reason to kind of collapse, or there was a reason to kind of like, avoid something in our environment that was actually going to be
Hmm.
dangerous if we were seen, or if we were kind of, so kind of get squashed down. But the problem is it was adaptive, but now it's maladaptive, where it's like, sure,
Right.
that served us maybe at some point in the journey, but it's no longer, it's not serving us now. It's doing quite the opposite, where it's like, okay,
Right.
I can
Well,
actually
this is also why it's valid. This is
yes,
why
and that's
it's
exactly, and I think that's such like I've noticed that in the people that I work with as well. To be like first, like yes, even like fear, even like shame, I'm like, thank it, like it's a survival strategy, right? It's like it's trying to protect you. Like
nice.
see the innocence in it, because it also takes out all the like making it into this large like enemy, where it's like
Exactly.
if you see the innocence in it, like oh, okay, that's just a part of me trying to protect me, like the fear, whatever it is, like the danger. Oh, it's just innocent, right? It's just kind of something that wants to like keep you safe. Um, but it's like it's outdated. It's not.
Exactly. This is so, and I love this because it's kind of the process that I would go through with somebody, which is like you do validate. You do say like,
Yeah,
yeah, anybody in your shoe, anybody who knows what you
yeah,
know and has been through what you've been through would be having this exact same thing. It's
yeah,
completely understandable. Okay, let's add new information.
yes,
Like
exactly,
let's
exactly.
reveal like the new mechanics, the ones that
Yeah,
you haven't understood that you didn't understand as a child.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
That is
and I
exactly it.
think one of the trickiest things to convince people still. So this is also related to being able to create that circuitry with somebody that I'm coaching and like that they actually are bought in. One of the trickiest things to like train someone in, and I had the same when I was kind of new to this, is a really sort of negatively biased mind will ask, why is when I feel good, why is that more true? Or
Mm,
why is it more, tr why
mm,
can I trust um, the fact that I'm free? Like, why is that more true and not just a, um, what if they're all just sort of experiences?
mm,
And yeah, I'm having those true thoughts, but like this is also true. Like to
mm.
feel, and so I
Yeah,
can say, really what I had to do for myself, I can't answer that like mechanically. At least not
yeah,
scientifically, but I can, like I had to decide that. Like I
yeah.
had to opt for that. It
That's
wasn't
the
something that I found out to be true. It was that it was the
yeah,
most useful. Like I
yeah,
took it on, I integrated it, I practiced, and it was like I'm now more generous, more available, more attentive, more productive. I'm just gonna stick with this.
yeah.
That was really
Yeah, and that's the answer that came to mind for me, because I think that's a good question. Like I think it is an important question. Like if we were to frame it like that, then the mind could be like, okay, why is that more true? And it's like,
I agree.
yeah, I don't think you can say, but like it doesn't for me. It's like it doesn't matter, because it's
Nice.
like whether whether it's
Try it. Yeah, try
yeah. Well,
both.
this is the thing. It reminds me of like a thought experiment Sam Harris would refer to a lot, is like I think when he was just talking about like imagine the worst possible suffering in the world for everyone, and then wouldn't we want to naturally gravitate away from that? and like I think what like one of the ways he would describe this is like put your hand on like a hot stove. Like just put your hand on the hot stove, and then it's like it gets progressively hotter. And at some point, you're not thinking like, why should I take my hand off the stove? It's just like it's less
Nice.
suffering. So
Right.
take your hand off the
Right.
stove, which is just like I feel the same about this kind of thing, where it's like, sure, I mean, you can keep your hand on the stove if you want to. You can stay in whatever perspective you wish to stay in, but it's like, I mean, if you're in this space, if you're watching this or like, you know, working with you or me, something is not satisfied, you know, something is not, or something knows that there's a different perspective. So it's like, um, yeah, I think it's just a choice. It's like, I mean, sure, we can live at whatever space on. That's the freedom. It's like the freedom is, yeah, no one's going to force you to. And I feel like I'm going on a tangent now, but I feel like that's a good answer to also like people often, if you use the word like God or like everything is unconditional love, it's like, well, why is there so much shit happening in the world? Why is there so much, you know,
Right.
shadow and suffering and all of that? But that's part of the freedom. It's because that is also allowed. Like we can live in that if we wish to. It's like,
Nice.
but you don't have to. Like that's the beautiful
Right.
thing. It's like,
Right. Well, and if you see it as like this whole creation is a school. Like
yeah,
this is a learning environment. That's what this life is a
yeah,
learning environment. And it is for our awakening. And again, this is take it or leave it. This like you can see it like this if you want and not if you don't. Totally fine. But
yeah,
if you see it as like, okay, everything is my own sort of creation, my own sort of perfectly designed creation to learn choice, basically to like learn what I'm doing
yeah,
with my free agency.
yeah,
Um, am I recognizing the truth or am I investing in more and more illusion
yeah,
and indulging illusion and sort of suffering through the illusion?
yeah.
And then I think another interesting little thought experiment, which is more of a meditation experiment than a thought experiment, is when we sort of create, you could just say space in the mind,
Mm-hmm.
the mood naturally rises. I think this
Mm-hmm.
is universal. I
Right.
mean, this is like even the most basic mindfulness meditations is kind of the point. It's like you subdue the mind, count to 10, whatever, notice your breathing, and you'll
Yeah.
notice the mood naturally rises. And isn't that an interesting,
Mm.
consistently observable? Why would that be? Why would it be that when you stop
Yeah.
paying attention, like when you're not doing anything with the mind, that the natural state of the mood is positive, optimistic, peaceful,
Yeah.
aligned, joyful. Like, why would that be? And so then, that to me sort of begs the interpretation that we're creating our own delusion. We're creating our own suffering with interpretation, with
Yeah.
sort of how we view and relate to the world. And it's to me, it's just like, okay, if you turn off the thing that creates that, and suddenly you're back to clarity and joy and generosity and
Yeah.
positive
Yeah.
feelings and thoughts, what's more likely to be true?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. I think for some people, it's not always, well, like if I think back to when I first started meditating, like sometimes it would be like
I know
worse, you
what
know?
you mean. I do know what
Like,
you mean.
I get what you're saying, but I'm also like, yeah, I mean, it can be the case to be made like, because it also like we're running or like distracting, and then it's like now we stop, and it's like, oh fuck, it can all like come to the surface, like all the um everything.
But I see that that's so important that you say this because
Yeah.
what is that? It reminds me of my dad's a basketball. He used to like coach basketball shooting form specifically. So he's
Okay.
like a very hyper nerd and he just like gets into like every mechanic, ding, ding, getting the basketball form exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And what he would have happen when students would come to him and maybe they're like shooting pretty good percentages from
Yeah.
the free throw line, they would come to him and then their shot would get worse. Like
Right.
immediately would get worse because he breaks it down. He like
Yeah.
breaks it down. He's like, okay, bad habit, bad habit, bad habit, bad habit. So now your thoughts
Yeah.
getting your shot is getting worse. And then about 3 months later, and he would tell them this up front. He'd be like, you ready to like hate this for about 3 months while you're
Yeah.
while you're like missing free throws? Um, but it's going to be worth it in the long run if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
make it
I
through this
agree.
3 month period. So that's exactly what I think of when you say this.
Yeah.
That like, yeah,
I
you
agree.
you sort of subdue the mind, and then it's all the stuff that your mind was busy like suppressing, so you
Yeah.
didn't have to be
Exactly.
like debilitated
Yeah. Yeah.
every single day.
Yeah.
So now this can come up, and then yeah, you got to be brave. I think I see
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
meditation as an act of courage. It's like, yeah, fucking face it.
Yeah,
if you
yeah, for
can
sure, for
face
sure.
it. And
I,
then it'll clear soon.
yeah, no, I completely agree, and I think yeah, I just wanted to add that because I think it's very helpful. Because like you said, like to understand that, like if your dad was coaching somebody basketball, for them to know, like, okay, for 3 months it's gonna feel worse, and it's like to know that it's part of the process is what I think allows people to be brave as well, you know. So to like know
Yes.
that
Yes.
you're going to do this, and it's like it might not feel in the moment like it's bringing peace or clarity or fulfillment or whatever. It might feel like it's bringing a lot more suffering or like a lot more
Exactly.
um yeah, I don't know, heaviness or whatever, like all these, again, all this stuff that's
Yeah,
been
you're gonna regret starting.
and sometimes it can really, you know, this is where we talk about like dark nights of the soul and stuff, where it's like
Yeah.
you could be quite deep in, and then all of a sudden it just something opens up that was like, you know, like that's why retreats can be so intense. But yeah, I think when you know this, like that's why, like, to go back to what we were saying earlier, education is so important for how the process unfolds and stuff. Like when you know that things can, you can go underwater a while because of the nature of the process, right? To like kind of let
Yeah.
everything surface. And for me, the other point is like I've always loved the idea of resilience, so it's like always been a big part of the path for me, where it's like the more
Same.
shit you go through, like the more you go back into the depths of it. It's like the more that freedom that we're talking about, the more you can really test how it's still there. You know, like maybe you lose sight of it for a while because like things get really murky, but then it illuminates again. And then what I always find after that is like there's something that like the bandwidth has increased, where it's like, oh, now I can
Exactly.
dive that deep, and like maybe I lost it for a while, and then I see it again, and it's like, oh, but now that is no longer like a um I don't know, there's like a new space there that has opened up, where it's like, okay, there's more
Right. Like I no
capacity,
longer
you know.
believe fear down like the
Yeah,
places where like maybe I was still afraid. I'm
exactly,
not afraid anymore. I could do, yeah,
exactly.
totally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
Yeah,
and I think the other thing that it does is that it proves to you even more what you are. Like that you are indestructible, that you
yeah.
are free, that you
Like
are
for me,
beyond.
it validates the freedom more,
Yes,
because it's like the, you know, if it's like, okay, we find freedom, but life conditions are always, you know, smooth and flowing, and
exactly.
it's like, what strength is that freedom?
Exactly.
Where yeah, it's like yeah, and that's why I think the idea of like I've done this sometimes where I'm like, just give me fucking suffering, right? Just like maximize suffering for a while, like paid for it. And it's that's why it's like, yeah, we have the choice of where we want to live on the spectrum. So it's like also often if we're if we're experiencing a lot of suffering, it's like maybe check in with what we're wanting. You know, like do we have beliefs and parts of us that actually truly want to suffer? And it's like I've seen that because that's it's always competing agendas. Like a part of us wants suffering, and then a part of us wants freedom, and then it's like, and then we start complaining. But it's just like get clear in yourself. What do you actually want? You know?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've
No,
seen
this
that.
is the first two questions I would ask somebody is, what do you want for
Yeah. It's
real? And
that's
I'm not gonna
yeah,
take your word for it. I'm gonna like poke you until I'm
yeah.
like, ah, got it.
That's
Okay, found it.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah. No, truly, if people don't know, no, actually this can be this could almost be like its own spiritual path is to just be honest about what you want.
Yeah. Literally
Honest.
that's a I was exploring that with my group this week, actually. Like we did a whole session where I kept on bringing it back to like desire. And again, in the spiritual path, desire can get um, a bad rap, maybe, as like the cause of suffering. But I like that I was with the, you know, Frank Yang. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I was with his group, and they're kind of on the Vajrayana Buddhist path now, which is very much the the embracing of desire, right? Kind of like desire is the essence of life force itself, right? Kind of the universe
Nice.
is desiring experience, so it births itself kind of moment to moment. But yeah, getting in touch with that like is can take you all the way basically. Like
True.
you just keep on coming back to what do you want, what do you want, okay, I want this, and then if you dig under that, it's like, oh no, I want that because that's just a projection, or that's like a conditioning from when I was younger of like if I want that, then I'll receive the love from my mother that I never got, or I'll receive this, right? But it's like, if you keep on digging deeper with that question and like really bore into it, it's like it can take you all the way. I think it's such a powerful question to kind of keep checking
It can go
into.
all the way to like the original spark of like what that
Yeah,
created your life. You know, like what the fuck am I here for? What is
exactly.
this life for? Yes,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I like seeing it almost like making a distinction between like what I want, because it's not because you could go get all those things. Like I've done this a bit. Like get get the thing you want.
Yeah.
You know, have that relationship, have that da 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 da, and see does it
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
meet my need?
Yeah. Does it
You
give you?
know? So,
Yeah.
and I think this is just a long ass path. You could expedite this a lot by just doing
Yeah.
it sort of imagination wise instead of like having to go follow each thing.
Yeah.
But I've learned so much from that. I've learned a ton from going and getting what I thought I wanted
Yeah.
and
Same.
really like going all in also,
Yeah.
just being like, fuck it. I know it's not spiritual. I know it's not
Yeah.
da da da, but I'm gonna go find out. Like, let me go
Yeah.
find out. I'm sorry. Like, you know, I'm not gonna sort of do this the appropriate way. And then you find out, I remember many times, like I remember having breakthroughs like in the moment of like, damn it, I got it. And it's not it. Like it's not it.
Yeah. But I totally
So
agree. Like I've always loved that approach to the path. Yeah, again, I think my teacher early on would say that, I think he said something along those lines, which really resonated with me, was like, the whole path is truly about authenticity at some level as well, of like,
nice,
um,
yeah.
so that's why I see that as a valid path. And I've done that myself as well. And I actually often encourage it in people where it's like, if you check in with what you want and it's like, it is this or it is that, then go for it, right? Don't use like a spiritual belief to tell yourself that that's not what you want, because you
Oh my
know
God.
that's
No, that'll bite you in the ass later.
yeah, exactly, that's just as bad as doing the opposite of saying like, I want freedom but no, I actually want this, to say like, no, I really want to like a better relationship, or I want more money, or I want like, any of these kind of things. I say go for it, and sometimes it is actually what we want. Like maybe like a part of us really wanted that. And once that's taken care of, it's like, okay, now that frees up more energy for something else that I actually want, or like something deeper.
There's a little like asterisk I want to do on this though,
Yeah.
because you gotta check that you really want it. Even, okay, so how do I say this? It's just so easy for the mind, especially if you feel insecure. Okay, for example, I really want to go, I want to be able to like speak on stage.
Yeah.
But the moment before I go on stage, I don't want to. Never
Right.
mind, never mind, never mind. I don't want to. I don't want to anymore.
Yeah.
Is that true? Is that a true desire right there? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So there is
Yeah. Yeah.
still
Yeah.
a hierarchy of wait, what do I actually want? So I totally encourage people to sort of pursue those like
Yeah,
deep
for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
desires, but then you got to be attentive too and check
Yeah.
like, is my, how
Yeah.
do I,
Whereas, yeah, I know what you're pointing to. Like, is this just like a fear of something in the moment, or
yeah.
is this
Or
like a,
do I just want to like, you
yeah.
know, whatever, eat the cake kind of thing, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like, do
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
is that real? Is that, so
Yeah.
there, it's still worth, um, like finding out. I'm not saying like you need to go all the way to the depths of your like original seeking impulse and find out that oh my God, what I really wanted was myself this whole time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we have to go there yet. But if we're going to do this relative path of like finding and sort of meeting what feel like sincere needs
Hmm.
in the short to medium term, medium to long term, maybe in some cases,
Yeah.
that like I vouch for that. Like that's
Yeah.
honest. Basically, that's the question. Is it honest?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
really honest? Or am I compensating, avoiding, hiding,
Yeah.
impulsive? Like, is this a desire that's like consistent in my multiple sort of levels of energy? So when I'm in
Yeah.
a really good, clear mood, do I still want this? Or is this like a
Yeah.
spontaneous thing that
Yeah.
I just really want to sort of scratch an itch? So
Yeah.
I still
Exactly.
encourage people to use discernment and to be just, if you're going to take this path, which most of us are, whether we admit that or not, um, do it fucking well. Like do it, you know, commit, do it properly, be honest with yourself.
Yeah, I think discernment's the key ingredient there. Like that's the word that like,
Yeah.
which is applicable here, because it's like, exactly, we can have like really low order desires. And And like this is the thing, like I've learned from this multiple times myself, where it's like you can learn from that as well, but you still have to be honest with yourself. Where it's like there are times when I
Yeah.
completely have consciously acted on like a low order desire or whatever, and then it's like, oh, that's not what I really wanted.
Fuck, I didn't want that at all.
No.
Okay, I especially see it for people when they're just like working the 9 to 5. They have their relationship that they are like tolerating, and they have their cool little like apartment. And then if I would ask them something like, "What do you want?" And they'd be like, "I want this. I want what I have." And then they're suffering and they're complaining and it's clear,
Yeah.
but they don't want to face the fact that like, fuck, what if I just don't? Like, what if I, but so I will see this often, like where people are not willing to be honest with themselves. And the cool thing about being honest with yourself is you don't have to be honest to anybody else. You don't have to act on it. You don't have to do
Yeah.
anything with that. But if you're out of integrity with yourself, mm, that's like the first order of business, I think, with anybody that works with me. It's like that's what we're gonna just get
Yes.
accurate.
Yeah.
First, get accurate. Get honest. You don't have to tell me. You don't
Hmm.
even have to tell me. You don't have to act on it. I'm not going to pressure you into any movement from
Yeah.
that honesty, but you can't lie to yourself. Like I want to work with something coherent.
Yeah. Yeah. That's such a powerful point. Like if I just reflect on my own journey and like all the big shifts that happened, it kind of all stemmed from that. Like if I look with the first coach that I worked with, like I knew things about myself that I was like just not owning, where
For
it's like,
sure.
yeah, whereas like I'm just reflecting on that now, where it's like, yeah, that time working with that person was super transformative. But what it really brought up in me was like these things that I knew probably weren't serving me, but I wasn't addressing them myself. And then it was kind of through whatever the dialogue, the reflection. Yeah, because we need to get out of our own worlds as well. We need to get out of our own bubbles. That's why working with a coach or anyone is so
Right.
effective, because we can convince ourselves of shit as well. Like we can convince ourselves that it's like,
Totally.
yeah, it's like something in us knows that it doesn't feel right, but it's so easy to like, well, whatever. I don't know. Like we can really get caught up in the delusion.
And what's the like the norm in the world is of a bunch of inner lies, a bunch
Yeah,
of dishonesty. Like there's
yeah,
nobody going to pressure you if you don't
yeah,
have a
exactly.
coach or a lot of self-honesty or a good or like one book that I always recommend to people is The Way of Integrity.
Mm,
And she sort of methodically walks through just like get into alignment, like get into an
yeah,
inner integrity. But if
yeah,
you don't have some type of sort of like honesty regulating mechanism,
yeah,
the norm out there, like the just the momentum of how people relate to themselves and you, nobody's ever going to call you out on that. Nobody's ever going to catch that.
yeah, yeah. You
People
have
people
to.
are going to
Yeah,
reinforce your life because you're not, if they keep you comfy, you'll
yeah,
keep them comfy.
yeah. Exactly. That's the thing, right? It's like and as you become more conscious, like you can, like I play with this sometimes, where I've seen like in the conversation I could have with someone, you can get them to validate, or like some people are very good honest mirrors, like it's rare, but like some people will call you out on your
Mhm.
bullshit. But like in general, you can often, if I was like looking for advice or something, I can see someone is just like, what energy am I putting out there, and then they're just reflecting that back to me. So it's like, if you want
Nice.
if you want your story to be
Nice.
validated, it will be validated. If you're like, no, I want more than this, uh I mean, it depends. You could trigger something in someone where, like, if you're wanting to expand and it's like someone has a belief that, like, no, that's dangerous, then they might kind of react from that space. But it is an interesting experiment to just see kind of like how different people respond to what you're putting out there for yourself as well.
It's
And it's,
true. Hmm.
yeah, those just kind of, yeah, it's a good way also to test, like, how worthwhile or like valuable a relationship is in your life as well. It's like if you're, um, I don't know. Like, yeah, it's an interesting thing to play with, I suppose, like mirrors in relationships and like seeing how energy is reflected back. Like,
Right. It's almost, I almost think about that through the lens of like how, okay, bear with me on this, but how much am I able to manipulate someone? So if I'm able to manipulate somebody and get them to give me the reflection that I want to
mm,
maintain my own comfort, like if I'm doing something out of alignment, and the like classic thing with like how girls talk to each other, which is like, I'm in a I'm a shitty girlfriend. Let's say that I'm like a bad girlfriend,
Yeah.
but I'm mad at my boyfriend and I'll tell my girlfriends like he's toxic. What a narcissist. And then the girls
Yeah.
would be like, you know, you don't need that shit. Leave him. Get out of,
Yeah. Yeah.
if
Yeah.
I could like
Yeah.
get
That's
people
it's
to
not very
reinforce my
helpful.
bias.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
He's
not what
such
you're
a
actually
so
looking for.
useless.
Yeah. 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 I totally hear you. Like,
So, but that's actually what I look for is in a friend. And it's what I
yeah.
respect in a friend. It's somebody that like if I'm trying to manipulate you into feeding my
Right.
ego,
Yeah. Yeah.
you'll invalidate me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and it's what earns my trust from a friend is that they do this to my manipulation, and they
Hmm.
go like, Corey, hold up, wait, that
Hmm.
that'll be like, yeah, nice. And
Yeah.
and why do I love that? Because it brings me back to what feels the best, what feels true,
Yeah.
integrity,
Yeah.
alignment. So,
Yeah.
and I've made the mistake of thinking that everybody likes this.
Yeah.
So I'll
You
have
know,
friends.
I know what you mean.
So I've had friends like bring me what to me just feels like horse shit, and I'll be like, nah, come on, what are you talking about? And it'll be like the most offensive thing I could have
Yeah, yeah,
said to
yeah, yeah.
them.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's yeah, it's funny because I completely resonate with that. I've often said that. Like, I'll often like with family, like when I visit my family at home, it's like um maybe I'll be complaining about something or whatever. And then what I love is like a fucking slap in the face. If I'm like
Same.
in my bullshit or whatever, I'm like, no, 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 like slap me in the face. Don't like
Yeah.
don't, don't
Don't
yeah.
coddle me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like sometimes, okay, like if things are, really falling apart, there's a space for softness and all of that. But like there's you need both, I think. Whereas a lot of humanity is just in the validation of like it's it's don't challenge or don't show people what they don't want to see. Um
Hmm.
but yeah, I really value that. Like when someone can be like, yeah, look, maybe you want to see this. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. Like, even if it's uncomfortable sometimes, it's like, I guess, yeah, like it's when you're on that path of like wanting to work through your shit and stuff. But
Exactly. I
yeah,
think this comes from you were earlier you were talking about like get your priorities straight. And this comes from that our top
yeah,
priority really is learning. It
yeah,
really is learning.
yeah,
Even
exactly.
if I have a secondary priority to like be
Yeah,
comfortable or enjoy or whatever, do what I want to do.
yeah,
If somebody gives me an opportunity to learn, that feels more like a gift than somebody giving me comfort. That feels
yeah,
more like, fuck, that's really what I wanted. It is really what I wanted. Thank you. Hold on. Let me like realign to this new perspective. I
yeah,
always appreciate that. If it's a
yeah,
good, and I think people can sort of do this artificially too. So it has to come from an accurate read. I also know people who are just like
yeah,
tough
yeah, yeah.
unnecessarily all the time.
Yeah,
They're
that's the
just
thing. Yeah,
argumentative.
yeah,
So, and this doesn't do the trick. It's not, to me, that doesn't bring me back into alignment,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah. Yeah, it's true because you do get a lot of that in the world as well. Like you get kind of the validating, but you also get, yeah, just the pure like disagreement
Yeah, the
or
contrarians. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, yeah, it has to come from you have to feel the place that like you can feel it, or like I can, where it's you can feel where it's coming from. Like it's like compassion
Exactly. They
or
want the
love.
best for you.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like you can feel like, oh wow, this is coming from a place of like hot tough love or something like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
where and again, this is like maybe, and honestly maybe for the contrarians, their work could be on more actually the softer side of like, no, just
Yeah.
validate actually, like, because that's what we are talking about earlier, where it's like often the suffering or whatever, the trauma needs to be validated. Yeah, I understand why you feel that way. And for them it's easy to be like, okay, but here's what you're not seeing. But it's like you need to kind of
Yeah.
have both, where it's like, yeah, I understand
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
a hold space for it, like create the space for what someone is feeling, and then offer the antidote, or like
Yeah.
I like what you said earlier, the new information, because that's really what it is. Also, it's like, sure, that's the lens you're seeing the world through right now, but what if we consider it like this? Like, what if we um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
add some more information to the model?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how it just goes wherever it goes. Like,
I know. It's so cool. It's actually so cool to talk to you about this because we clearly have so much of the same experience,
Yeah.
like working with people and also having the self-realization background,
Yeah.
but to be doing this sort of balance of empowerment and enlightenment,
Yeah, exactly.
but also
Yeah.
to like see so many examples. It's fun. I feel like
Yeah.
I could like riff with you more on just specifically talking about coaching people and bringing people
Yeah.
more into awakening.
Yeah. It is fun. I enjoy it. It's like there's not a lot of people that are in this exact same
Right?
shoes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Let me think if there's any
Yeah, maybe last point could be what is freedom?
well, it's it's one of my favorite words or like pointers for like what I truly am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I love the word freedom. I use that
Same.
often in my
It's like
meditations.
probably
Like,
my favorite. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really is like freedom itself, you know, what am I? Freedom itself. And I might use other, um, there's so many meditations, but like freedom is actually like a direct hit. Like if
Mhm.
you try to sort of conceptualize freedom, what is that? You know what I mean? How
Yeah.
would you conceptualize freedom?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that's a great pointer, like because it's hard to conceptualize and because
Yeah.
it has so many of these frequencies of like infiniteness, but also not bound even by its own infiniteness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, like it just has this thing of like, yeah, I love it as a meditation itself to just
Mm.
tune into like what is freedom? Like what exactly is the nature of freedom? Ignore the word free, ignore, like liberty, ignore all the connotations, but just like actually what is it pointing to? Freedom itself.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of a nail on the head of what I am, what
Mm.
we are.
Yeah. I love that.
What would you answer to that question?
Yeah, great. I like it.
Were you going to tell me great question?
Yeah. It's just so natural that when I get a question I'm like, yeah, great question. Well done. Um, what is freedom? Yeah, for me, it's non-conceptual. That's why it's like when I asked you the question and I just felt into it, I was like, for me, it was like that actually that spaciousness that I was feeling like of just the stillness,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, and that's why I think that's the art of like the pointing of people that talk about this stuff. It's like to point from that, but like through the frequent, like the words are just words, right? But it's like, and that's what I love playing with as well, like kind of in like making videos or like expressing this to like the groups. It's like how like I just touch into like a space or like that space, and then it's like okay, what I say now is irrelevant, like when that is the space, it's like it's fun to talk, but
Love
that's
that.
what I that feels like the most freedom to me. It's like it's just this kind of energy.
I love that so much. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like now the words are meaningless. It's
So cool.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, but I do love the word freedom. Like if I think, because I think again, we're all like constituted differently of like we can have the same insights, but it will express differently through us. And I've always like freedom has been such a big foundation of the whole path for me, where it's like um it's a big part of how I like to express
Hmm.
truth, whatever. It's like, yeah, the flavor of freedom really is like,
Same.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I resonate.
Cool.
Nice.
Awesome.
All right. Well, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for joining us again, Cory. Good
Yeah.
conversation.
Thanks for having me. Oh, so much fun.
Yeah, cool. I'll put your links if anybody wants to check out working with you and your coaching and all of that.